Massey, huge figure from Salford.
I had to get Paul for ages. I was going through different people in Manchester, and I was just wasting my time. You'll never get him. He's under surveillance, all this kind of stuff. I was getting these MI5 on him, and he's getting watched, and I'm never going to get Paul. And I actually got him by accident because I was in a scrapyard in Manchester, and it was a Donnelly's scrapyard.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there with Arthur Donnelly, who was a great character who sadly passed, and I was really. He was really good to me, Arthur. He would always help me out with different phone numbers for people, and he was really just one of these guys that could help you. He would always help. We wanted to help you. Really, just genuine guy.
Yeah.
And I told him about Massey. He went, "What? You never got? You couldn't get Paul Massey?" I went, "Couldn't get him." Everybody was just fucking wasting my time. He went 2 seconds. He picks up the phone, dials the phone. He must have spoke to Paul on the phone. And about 10 minutes later, Massey swings in.
No way. That's some power.
He went, "This is Paul Ferris, this photographer. He's been looking to get you for ages, And I was like, fucking finally. And that was how they played it. And I managed to get some pictures that particular day. And got some good pictures of Paul himself, some portraits of Paul.
Yeah.
With Arthur as well. And then I would get back in for several meetings with Paul, different situations like funerals and different things. Paul would take me under his wing and take me into different areas and different funerals that had happened.
And what was he like? How did you find him?
Found him to be really helpful again. Paul was a really helpful guy. Anytime I was in Manchester, I would have people beside me just watching me, especially at funerals. And he used to, which I think Paul was the one that got me phoned me. He basically phoned me one night and said, I've got something for your book. Can you be in Manchester for sunrise? And I was like, fuck. He went, yeah, just come to Manchester for sunrise. I've got a good story for your book, picture story. So I drives all the way to Manchester. I'll just decide, whatever. I think it was in Bury. Could have been Greater Manchester, Bury, or some place like that. And then I says to Paul, so basically there was a guy called Tiny Donaghy who was in the IRA.
Yeah.
So he had died, and he was he was close to Paul. So I get into this wee room, and the guys basically said, "Don't photograph the women crying. Keep it out of the press." I says, "Well, what about obviously when the book comes out? I mean, but don't. Your book's a year away, or 6 months away. Don't worry, but we'll book it in and keep it out of the island." And I was like, "Shit, what's happening here?" And then he takes me into this wee room, and this guy's lying in a coffin, and these other guys have got balaclavas on, and I was like, "Shit, fucking IRA funeral," and I couldn't believe it. It was like a Provo funeral in the middle of Manchester.
Crazy.
It just had never been done before, never been seen, done, heard of. And even Bernie says, look, he said that this is the only paramilitary funeral in mainland Britain never seen.
That's a bad photo. That's a mad.
And that was, sure enough. So I'm doing the whole thing, the procession, and they're walking about the balaclavas on the street. Then I get the tricolours on the street. I'm getting all these pictures. And then they're kind of following me about, and I'm kind of wondering what's going on. And then I've turned round, and I knew something was going to happen, but they didn't tell me. They were trying to get me. And then the next thing, somebody's walked up with a gun and started firing a gun in the air. And as he fired the gun, I've shit myself and fucking hit the deck because it's just whizzed by my ear. And I've turned round, and I managed to get a couple of pictures, but by that time it's kind of finishing. And I've turned round, and there's 2 guys with balaclavas on, and I went, I says, "Going to go and do that again?" I fucking missed it. They went, "Oh no, we can't do it again. That's it done." I went, "Right, okay." And I think they done it at the end where they held a gun, but that was just unbelievable. I just couldn't believe that the access I got that day.
I don't think I've ever heard. I know there's a lot of connections with Manchester and the Irish.
Everybody knows there's connections between the underworld and paramilitaries, and we've always known that. But here's finally the fucking proof. What they call it, another time Paul had phoned me up, and it was basically his mother had died. And during that time, he phoned me up. And I remember he would phone me up about, it was like 3 a.m. And my phone would go, Paul Massey. I was going, you just shit yourself when these guys phone, didn't you? It's like, what the fuck's he phoning me at 3 a.m. for, you know? And it was just, he was just talking to me normally.
Yeah.
And because I told him my mum had died no long ago. And there was that connection, you know? And he just, I think he just wanted somebody to talk to.
Yeah.
And it was just basically about, but he was talking about his mother, how she was well respected and well liked. And he invited me down to photograph the funeral. And that's when I got a picture of Paul Ferris and Paul Massey together, hugging it side by side at the graveside.
Oh, were they friends, Paul and Paul Massey?
They were like close buddies for years.
Yeah.
So I got these pictures of the two of them, and somebody shouted there, fuck, I've only Scotland Yard had them pictures, you know, they don't even get them kind of pictures. Paul like wiping tears away as he's carrying the coffin. I've got a picture and he's wiping the tears, and you're just thinking that book Faces was just about true life. You know, there wasn't anybody posing and trying to look hard. I was just capturing life, you know, and social history. And to get somebody like Paul crying at his mother's grave, you know, it's just in no way, shape or form did that book glamorise crime.